Welcome all. Today we are going to discuss Module 5 of our cloud computing syllabus. That includes discussion about industry level cloud providers such as Microsoft Azure, Google App Engine, and Amazon Web Services. In the second part, we are going to discuss some real life applications of cloud, especially in business and scientific. So, without wasting further time, we are going to start. There are so many companies providing industry level cloud applications, industry level cloud services that has a PaaS service or SaaS service or infrastructure service. Among them, the most important and industry widely used are Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure, and Google App Engine. So first we discuss about Microsoft Azure. So Microsoft Azure is actually started as a beta in 2008. The first public version is available in 2010. It is at that time it is named as Windows Azure. After that it is renamed in 2014 as Microsoft Azure. It provides all of the services such as infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service solutions. The entire component of Microsoft Azure is the first one is its operating system. The operating system is actually a combination of Windows operating system and open source Ubuntu operating system. So at the consumer level, it is open source, but in internal structure, it is closed source. So it uses both of the advantages of open source and closed source services. The second part of Azure is its app fabric that is used for developing cloud-based application. The third one is obviously the database support, that is SQL Azure. It will provide both the SQL type data structure and no SQL type data structure. It not only support a Windows-based SQL server, it also support open sources like MySQL or Oracle database, etc. So, as per the user's requirement, any features can be added and Microsoft Azure will support that feature. If it is not available also, it has a wonderful and fantastic feature, that is cloud adoption. It will contact, the Azure will contact the provider of that particular services and make it available for the required user. Microsoft Azure is mainly used for build, deploy, and manage cloud-based application. There are a lot of services that are provided by Microsoft Azure that includes infrastructure as a service, that include computational power, that is called a compute, the storage, the networking, and platform as a service. They are providing web and mobile, analytics, IoT, data analysis, integration, media, security, etc. So we are going to discuss about some of the important features of Microsoft Azure. The first feature is obviously the computational power. Microsoft Azure is built upon connecting several supercomputers and several clusters of computers. The Microsoft Azure support different data centers that is handled by Microsoft engineers, and these data centers provide a well load balancing. So if a user require more computation power, then we can simply add it by paying additional amount to Microsoft Azure. There are free account also available, but there are some limitation. In compute, it will provide computational power to application. It includes virtual machines that we already discussed what is the importance of virtual machine in our module 3. Then virtual machine scale sets, that includes from a real hardware. By using virtual machine scale set, we can instantly create thousands of virtual machines. Then functions, that is for serverless computing. Then batch, for containerized batch workloads. Batch means for containerized batch workloads. Service fabric is for microservices and container orchestration, and obviously the cloud service for building cloud-based application. The second level of infrastructure as a service is networking. So Microsoft Azure provide most of the required networking services. That includes virtual network. which can connect on-premise data centers. Whenever we want to connect to a data center, that will provide by the virtual networks. Load balancer and application gateway, VPN gateway, Azure DNS. DNS means domain name server for domain launching. That means for website launching. Content delivery network, that is used for fast content delivery to the consumers. Then traffic manager in order to control the traffic. Express route, dedicated private network fiber connections, that for high speed internet connection and high speed data centers connection. And network watcher, monitoring and diagnosis, for watching and monitoring the network activities and interpret as it is needed. The third, infrastructure as a service, is storage. Microsoft include different types of storage structure. The important one is blob, that is used for unstructured data. The second is queue, that is for inter-process communication within the applications. Then third one is files and disk. Also, it will provide data lake store, backup and site recovery among others. Also, it support different types of other file storage services also. Then next we are going to discuss about platform as a service components. The first one is web plus mobile. This means by using Microsoft Azure, we can develop web application, we can develop mobile application, we can develop web plus mobile application. Most of the currently available programming languages are supported by the Microsoft Azure in order to develop. So the user, a company, an enterprise does not require to stick only on a particular programming language. They can use their own, what they are familiar with, they can use that language. And also, if they have local data, then Microsoft also provide integrity services that can integrate their local data into cloud. Then databases, as I told earlier, Microsoft support all of the available database management systems, such as its own company's own Microsoft SQL Server, open source MySQL, Oracle based Oracle database, and also Microsoft specific document DB, Redis cache and SQL DB. In the document DB we have already discussed in the last module. Redis cache is for unstructured processing. Then next is data plus analysis. One of the important application of business cloud is data analysis. A large amount of data need to be analyzed and processed within a short amount of time. For that purpose, we require cloud. We will discuss it in application of cloud computing. So the Azure provides a large type of data analytics tools that includes Hadoop Spark, HD inside for Hadoop Spark, RServer, HBase and Storm cluster. The next is AI plus cognitive service. We know that AI we are using everywhere. AI is now, because there are a lot of applications of AI, especially in our smartphone systems. So Azure also provide application interfaces for developing AI, cloud-based AI application, especially for computer vision. Computer vision means by using human eyes, we can identify objects when we are seeing. How it is possible? It is possible when the light rays are reflected from that particular object, and our retina will receive that particular light rays, and we will compare that particular image in human brain and identify what is that particular object. So the similar technology we are trying to simulate in computer science. So everything in computer is seeing through video camera or usually simple camera. So the camera provides only pixels, so the computer is compare that pixel with stored images. So we know that there are millions or billions of objects are available, so a particular object should be compared to all these billions of images and identify or rectify from that what is the current object. That is called a computer vision, that requires heavy AI application. Then face recognition, Bing web search, that is customized web search for user. Then video indexer, what type of video is this? Is it a what is the category of that video? What is the tag of that particular video. So that is provided by video indexer. Language understanding intelligence, what language a user is speaking or what language a website is providing. So we know that whenever we open an Arabic or an Spanish website, then in our Google Chrome it will automatically notify whether we need to translate it to English or other particular language. So such application is based on language understanding. Then next is IoT. We know that current era is IoT era. Every object is providing data. So there is huge amount of data and need to be processed. So for that, Microsoft Azure is also provide IoT Hub, IoT Edge services for learning, analysis, and communication service. Then security and identity. We know that Microsoft is a large, one of the best MNC in the world, and it will provide Microsoft based security for its data centers. It will provide Azure Active Directory, Key Vault for storing our private and public keys, and multi-factor authentication service for the security of the user data. And the next, developer tool, not only for monitoring and hosting a service, Microsoft Azure provide a lot of APIs in order to develop their own application by using in Microsoft Azure. Includes cloud development service like Visual Studio Team Service, Azure Dev Test Lab, Hockey App, mobile app deployment and monitoring, Xamarin cross-platform mobile development, and more. We can develop mobile or web or mobile plus web application. Then monitoring and management. All these services can be managed by using simply Azure portal, and a user just need to enter their Microsoft or Azure ID. By using that Azure ID, they can completely manage their own applications. Also, Azure provide Azure Resource Manager, how much resources a particular application or user is used, and how we can add or scale up or scale down our resource as according to our requirement. The advantage of Azure is self-servicing. The first one is self-servicing. Whatever we want, we will get. If we does not want something, we can just remove that. So only what we use, what we pay. That is the simplicity of Microsoft Azure. Then scalability, according to our requirement, we can scale up the resources or scale down the resources. Then disaster recovery, what happened when a server failures, well, that is we are running in a server application in a server, then what happens when a server failure, that headaches will be handled by the Microsoft teams. A user cannot need to make headache about disaster recovery and management. Next is cost saving. There is no need to pay for infrastructure for a startup or an enterprises, because as we know that whenever a government agency compel its people to register something in their web portal, then at that particular time, within that they will be given a period of time. At that time there will be a huge traffic in the network. So for at that time, for that particular period of time, we can buy extra traffic or extra bandwidth for our website. Similarly, some application requires high computation power. For a startup company for a company like a startup, it is not possible to buy high super specific computer system or data cluster. They cannot implement a data cluster or data center by their own. So we can just simply buy that amount, that computation power or data center by using Microsoft Azure. So by using that we can save a huge amount of money because we are not setting our own infrastructure. We are leasing the infrastructure of Microsoft Azure. The next is faster data movement. Microsoft provide lots of or advanced networking service and advanced content delivery network. So a user will receive their data, their content very fastly. Then high availability. Microsoft Azure, it will be Microsoft Azure service will be available in 99.95% time. So almost in a year it will be 100% almost available. Then cloud adoption, that I have already told about cloud adoption. If a particular service is not available with Microsoft Azure and some other cloud application or cloud provider provide that particular service, then Microsoft Azure will contact that particular cloud provider, and for our purpose it will adopt that service to our portal. So that is called a cloud adoption. Then flexibility and security. Flexibility means we can simply add and say we can simply remove resources by simple clicks. And security means one of the best Microsoft engineer provides security will be get in Microsoft Azure. The disadvantage of Azure is obviously it was a net-based application, and it will provide a lot of features. To get the complete advantage of Microsoft Azure, we will require an expert. Then because of it is a network or net internet based application, we require a high speed internet to get full control, full access, full use of Microsoft Azure services. Then free service has some limitations. The Azure ecosystem means the whole components that forms together the Microsoft Azure. That is called the Microsoft Azure ecosystem. It contains large collection of servers. There are thousands of servers in the Microsoft Azure. Then there are mostly fast, superior, super cooled, super load balancing networking and hardware, and there are virtualization providers. So these all together form the ecosystem of Microsoft Azure. So for the exam purpose, we just need to study the important services of Microsoft Azure and some names of that particular service. For example, data storage. Data, if we write about data storage, then we can write data will be stored as a blob, data will be stored as a file, data will be stored in the SQL database, etc. I am giving this much explanation in order to remember something when you write the exam. So these are the main companies that using Microsoft Azure services. According to Microsoft, 90% of the Fortune 500 companies use Microsoft cloud services. The next is Google App Engine. It was actually released in 2008. Google App Engine is a cloud service provided by Google. It is provide platform as a service and a cloud computing platform for developing and hosting web application. Applications are sandboxed and across multiple servers. And applications are divided independently, and they are independently run in different servers at the same time. App Engine offers automatic scaling. That means for web applications, as the number of requests increase, it will automatically scale up. Then the load balancing, because automatically allocate more resources for the application to handle additional demand for a short period of time. It may be payable service. The free service has limitation. Google App Engine also has free service and paid service, but 99% of applications hosted in Google App Engine does not need to pay a penny. That is the importance of Google App Engine. The service is free up to a certain level of consumed resources. From the analytics, it is shown that 6.5 hours per day computation power is free. 5 GB is free. So for a simple website hosting, we does not need to pay for space. Google will provide 5 GB free space in Google App Engine. Fees are charged for additional storage, bandwidth, and or instant of hours required by the application. If we need additional power, we can pay the fees. It was first released in public in 2011. It was started developing in 2008. As I discussed in Microsoft Azure, Google App Engine also provides a lot of features. The first one is runtime and framework. Google App Engine support most of the important programming languages such as Go, PHP, Java, Python, Node.js, .NET, and Ruby. So additional languages can be integrated by using custom runtimes. It supports many Java standard frameworks. The core is the Servlet 2.5 technology by using Jetty web server. Google provides Google Cloud Data Store as the database provider. Also, we can integrate other database service also, but Google Cloud Database Data Store is highly scalable, fully managed NoSQL service offered by the Google. Mostly we can manage all our requirement by using Google Cloud Data Storage. It support both SQL type and NoSQL type queries. The next is reliability and service. We know that 85% of smartphones are running on Android. So every Android phone has mainly Google services integrated in it, such as Gmail, Drive, Duo, or Meeting, etc. So Google is the one of the largest company in the world that provide service in reliable and fault-free manner. All build app engine applications have 99.95% uptime service license agreement that is provided by the Google. If we are hosting some application as a paid service in Google App Engine, Google will assure that it will be 99.95% uptime. So it is almost 100%. It will be available throughout the year 24 into 7. App Engine is designed in such a way that it can sustain multiple data centers outage without any downtime. So whenever a data center is completed or saturated, then it will automatically load balance to different data centers that is situated entire in the globe. So without any downtime, it will automatically manage that load balancing. Free and paid service supporters are available, but free service is support service is provided by some open source platform like GitHub or Stack Overflow, and paid service support is provided by the Google engineers. SDK version 1.2.2 adds support for the bulk download data using Python. So for bulk download, we can using Python queries. The restrictions of Google App Engines are developers have only read-only access to file system. It is for providing the security. The developer will get only virtual file, not the actual file. So it will be the actual file will be preserved. Application can only use virtual file system like Google App Engine file store. So only application will get the virtual file system, not the original file system. App Engine can only execute call from HTTP request. No other protocol is currently supported. User may upload arbitrary Python modules, but it should be in pure Python form. No C or Pyrex modules are supported. Java applications may be used as a subset, but this restriction does not exist from Java Standard Edition 8 runtime. A process started in the server to answer a request can't be last more than 60 milliseconds. This disadvantage has been rectified in version 1.4.0 release. It does not support sticky session. That means we cannot hold a session for a long time. So if we need more time for a session, then we have to use redundant sessions or multiple sessions in order to handle our request. The advantage of Google App Engine is auto scaling. Whenever a resource or application need additional resource, it will automatically add to the particular application. Then static files, it uses Google Content Delivery Network that provides the consumers fast content delivery. Easy logs, Google provide simple web console to manage and to manage all the log files. As we have discussed the importance of logs in our application, so Google will provide a simple web console to manage all our web logs. Easy to build. There are lot of SDKs and APIs available to build our own application. Easy to scale. There is no data limit to scale up the resources, scale up our application, and easy to maintain. Google provides simple console in order to maintain our application. Easy to deploy, only just need one or two clicks to deploy our application. That is the simplicity of Google App Engine. Pre-quota, as I told earlier, 99% of application in the Google App Engine does not require to pay a penny. So most of the services just need a free account of Google App Engine. Then affordable compared to other services, Google service is cheaper. No configuration of server configuration burden is handled by the Google engineers. Then Google based security. Google is the one of the world famous company that provide security to users data. Last not least, Amazon Web Service. Amazon Web Service is the one of the earliest cloud service that is provided by the Amazon as a subsidiary of Amazon that provides cloud-based APIs and a cloud development platform for individuals, companies, and government sectors as pay as you go basis. Amazon Web Service provides service in the form of building blocks. These building blocks can be used to create, deploy any type of application in the cloud. So Amazon use service in terms of building block. These building blocks forms the Amazon Web Service to in order to build and deploy new application. These building blocks are designed to work each other and result application which are sophisticated and highly scalable. These building blocks together forms a sophisticated and highly reliable available services. Amazon Web Service provide most of the real computers power, that is it will provide computer processing, CPU processing power, GPU power, RAM, hard disk or choice of operating system, networking, preloaded applications such as web server, database server and customer relationship management. Most of the real computer is emulated. Most of the features of real computer is emulated in Amazon Web Service. The important features of Amazon Web Service is flexible. Amazon Web Service enables organization to use the programming model, operating system, database, architecture which they are familiar with. So any programming language an organization is familiar can be used in Amazon Web Service. In addition, this flexibility helps organization to mix and match architecture in order to serve their diverse business needs. For example, the R programming language, it is best for statistical analysis, but Rust programming language or Python, that is best for IoT and AI based application. So we can mix and match, we can mix R programming and Python programming in our application as based as we need, as based on our requirement. Then cost effective, because we does not need to penny for infrastructure or our platform. We just need an Amazon Web Service account in order to deploy our application. So we have a lot of money saving in terms of cost, because we does not build our own infrastructure to develop our application. It is compared to building or compared to making our own infrastructure, the Amazon Web Service will provide a very much cheap solution to our application or our problem. Scalable and elastic, we can simply add or remove resources according to our need, and elastic means according to user requirement we can manage our application resource usage. Then secure, Amazon provide highly secure web service. So most of the time, up to 100% time, the Amazon Web Service is available. The next point is experience. This experience and security that can be together we can discuss, because Amazon has started their work in 2001. So one of the first cloud-based applications. So they have a lot of experience in implementing this cloud-based application. Also, we know that according to Wikipedia, they faced many problems in their development. They have faced denial of service in 3 times in 2012. They have faced some issues in 2004. They have faced some issues in 2018. So from that experience, they will provide a wonderful, highly reliable, highly scalable, highly available web service, that is from their experience. And also they will provide one of the best security in the world for the user data and their application. The AWS services are, as obviously we discussed earlier, for the Microsoft Azure we have discussed its service, Google App Engine we have discussed the service. AWS is also provide computation power, that is infrastructure as a solution, includes service related to compute workload. They are EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud, Lambda, Elastic Beanstalk, Amazon Lifesail. Then Amazon Web Service also provides storage service, includes service related data storage, that is for S3. We have already discussed simple storage service Amazon S3 in the last module. Elastic Block Store for unstructured data, Amazon Glacier, AWS Snowball. It will provide database support. We have discussed Amazon DynamoDB in the last module. Also it will support Amazon Azure, Amazon Aurora, Amazon RDS, Amazon Redshift for different kind of application. Then migration, used for transferring data to or from the AWS infrastructure. We can integrate our local data into AWS, or we can retrieve data from AWS to our local file storage or local server. Then next is network and content delivery. Amazon provide fast content delivery network in order to get consumer fast content delivery. It will isolate our work so external cannot see our application and attack. So one of the best security service. Then manage, it will provide management through management tools through its console service which are used to manage our services in AWS like CloudWatch, CloudFormation and CloudTrail. It will provide security and identity complaints console services which are used to manage, authenticate and provide security to AWS resources. They are AWS IASM, AWS KMS. KMS means key management system. AWS Shield. So we can store our public key in KMS. We can store our private key in KMS. So it will provide most of the types of encryption and most of the types of security over most type of vulnerabilities. Then messaging, as we discussed earlier, messaging is needed within intra application and inter application services. Console service which are used for queuing, notifying or emailing messages. It will Amazon provide Amazon SQS, Amazon SNS, Amazon SCS and Amazon Pinpoint. Amazon has data centers all over the globe. They are divided these data centers into different regions. So some regions may be in North America, some may be in Africa, some may be in Asia Pacific, some may be in Antarctica. So they are divided into currently in 2009 they are 2019 they are divided data centers into 22 different regions. Each data region contains more than at least more than two availability zone. This availability zone does not means if number of availability zone increases then we can store more data. That is not the meaning of availability zone. Or a number of more availability zone not means the redundancy of data is increases. It actually means our data is isolated. If one availability zone is failure then it will automatically use the next backup availability zone. So always our data will be available. So together Amazon together region and availability zones forms a fantastic, reliable, highly available, scalable Amazon Web Service solution. A user can interact to control panel and they can simply self-manage their application according to their requirement. The figure shows the important companies, important public and private sectors, enterprises customers that use Amazon Web Service because it is the one of the first industry level cloud provider. Many of the MNCs are using Amazon Web Services as their backend platform. Example Adobe, SAP, and startup companies like the Reddit, Foursquare, Spotify, and public sector companies such as NASA, CDC, and 2U. So there are a lot of companies using Amazon Web Services. So these are the important industry level cloud providers. They are Amazon Web Service, Google App Engine, and Microsoft Azure that many of the Fortune companies and MNCs are currently using. Also, there are other companies emerges as web service cloud service providers. So currently, the important three web cloud services are we have discussed. In the next part of this module, we are going to discuss applications of cloud computing. So study well for your exam. If you have any doubts, then ask me through WhatsApp or comments. All the service and names does not need to be studied. We have just need to study the important services and one or two names in that particular service for your exam purpose. All the best. Thank you.